All right, folks, buckle up. We're diving into the biggest bar fight in history, World War I. It had everything: empires, betrayals, explosions, and a plot twist that set up the sequel, World War II. But this wasn't just any war. It was the first time the world saw industrial-scale destruction on a global level. Let's rewind to 1914, where Europe was a ticking time bomb with a really short fuse. The spark that lit the fire. June 28, 1914. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary. By who? A 19-year-old named Gavrilo Princip, a member of the Black Hand, a Serbian nationalist group. Why? Because, well, nationalism and a general distaste for being ruled by Austria. The shot heard round the world, more like the shot that made the world lose its mind. But this wasn't just about one assassination. Austria-Hungary had been looking for a reason to crack down on Serbia, and this was the perfect excuse. Little did they know, this single event would ignite a war that would pull in over 30 nations. The domino effect. So Austria-Hungary blames Serbia. Russia, seeing itself as the protector of Slavic nations, defends Serbia. Germany, Austria's best buddy, jumps in to back them up. France and Britain, bound by their alliances, side with Russia. And boom! Suddenly, the world is picking sides faster than a high school dodgeball game. But why did this escalate so quickly? Because of something called the alliance system. Countries had spent years forming military agreements. If one got attacked, the others jumped in. It was meant to prevent war, but instead, it ensured that a regional conflict turned into a full-blown world war. Trench warfare and the horrors of war. Welcome to the trenches, where the food is bad, the rats are worse, and going over the top means running straight into machine gun fire. This wasn't the glorious battlefield soldiers expected. Instead, they got a slow, agonizing stalemate. Soldiers dug into muddy trenches stretching for hundreds of miles, separated by a wasteland called No Man's Land, an area littered with barbed wire, bodies, and shell craters. Artillery shells rained down non-stop, and when soldiers did attack, they were often mowed down by machine guns before making it 10 feet. Oh, and let's not forget chemical warfare. Mustard gas and chlorine gas burned lungs and blinded men, making survival even more of a nightmare. This war introduced a level of horror that the world had never seen before. America joins the party. The U.S. tried to stay out of it. President Woodrow Wilson even campaigned on keeping America neutral. But then Germany decided to push its luck. First, they started sinking ships, including the Lusitania in 1915, killing over 1,000 civilians, including Americans. Then came the infamous Zimmermann telegram, a secret message from Germany to Mexico, basically saying, hey, want to invade the US and get some land back? That, plus unrestricted submarine warfare, was enough to change America's mind. In April 1917, the US declared war on Germany, and let's be honest, once the US shows up to a fight, things tend to wrap up pretty quickly. Their fresh troops and resources gave the Allies the boost they desperately needed. The end and the aftermath. 1918, Germany surrenders. The war officially ends on November 11th at 11 a.m., Armistice Day. But peace wasn't that simple. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, placed the blame squarely on Germany, forcing them to pay massive reparations, disarm their military, and give up territory. The world breathed a sigh of relief, but, plot twist, this treaty was so harsh that it basically set the stage for World War II. Germany was humiliated and economically crippled. With the perfect storm of resentment and hardship brewing, the world hadn't seen the last of global conflict. The road to World War II. Germany, crushed by war debts and economic disaster, was looking for a way out. Enter Adolf Hitler. A former soldier turned political agitator, he promised revenge, rebuilding the military and undoing the Treaty of Versailles. Spoiler alert, it worked. With nationalist propaganda, military expansion, and aggressive territorial grabs, Germany was back on the warpath by the 1930s. And just like that, the world was on a fast track to World War II. So there you have it, World War I. A war so devastating, so game-changing, that it reshaped the world and set the stage for its sequel. Lessons learned? Maybe. Will history repeat itself? Let's hope not. But one thing's for sure. Wars like these shape the world we live in today. So let's make sure we remember. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you'd survive trench warfare. Spoiler, you wouldn't. See you next time for more history.